Well, we've had a couple of weeks off after our Mull trip, but we're out and about again now. We thought we'd pay a visit to Manton Bay to have a last look at the ospreys. We've got a couple of buzzards overhead, just approaching the shallow water hide now. It's about 1¼ kilometres from the visitor centre. And as you can see, we've got the hide to ourselves, at the moment anyway. I've just set the camera equipment up and hopefully have a leisurely morning just seeing what wildlife comes along, and hopefully some ospreys. There's none about at the moment. The nest is empty in the perches, but looking out there's excellent views of common tern out there, both adult and youngsters. They're nicknamed the sea swallow, and they arrive in the UK in April and leave again in August and September. Really handsome looking birds, distinguishable from the Arctic tern by the little black tip on the end of their beak. They currently have an amber status with the RSPB. We've actually got one fishing in front of us. They're brilliant hoverers. They'll hover, as you can see, then suddenly dive down and attempt to get a fish. Unsuccessful so far. Just shot a little bit of slow motion footage of them in the air. And at last we have an osprey approaching. I'll give you a quick review of the Manton Bay pair. Maya, the unringed female, and her mate 33 arrived back here on the same day. They bred successfully and laid 4 eggs, all of which hatched out, but unfortunately 2 of the chicks died shortly afterwards. But thankfully 2 survived, a young female and a male. I'm not too confident about identifying them because according to the website other ospreys have been visiting the nest site, but I presume this is Maya and her mate 33. It was probably Maya on the perch. I couldn't see any rings, she's unringed. This is probably 33 that's on the nest at the moment, but as I say, other birds have been visiting. See what else is around. There's the odd lapwing here and there, good views of those. And cormorant, of course, there's always a lot of cormorant here. And good views of this redshank, Britain's commonest wader. There's 25,000 breeding pairs in the UK and 130,000 winter here, and they have an amber status with the RSPB. The latest news I could find on the fledglings was that the young female was last seen on the 29th of July. She flew really high and then disappeared out of sight, and they assume that they're hoping that she's started her migration, but that is very early. We haven't seen the young male today, so I'm not sure about him. Just noticed out of the side window of the hide, this bird, it's got to be a linnet, but the breast is very orangey as opposed to the usual pinkish colour. It's always good to see a linnet though. Have a red status with the RSPB. A couple of preening mallard in front of us now. Really nice to just sit in the hide and film what comes by. Just got a grey heron just flying past us now. Also pied wagtail. It's an adult, but we've also got a youngster on the wire there. And looking way over the water on the far side, a little egret. Good lot of gulls here, all black-headed gulls, adults and youngsters. And way out on the water, great crested grebe, some with babies. Quite well grown babies, too big to travel on their parents' back now. Beautiful birds. Literally maybe hundreds of coot. And the baby moorhen there. Small group of Canada's just flown in. And this is a young starling, just with its adult feathers coming through. Well, initially we came here to have a last look at the ospreys for this year before they go off back to Africa. I'm going to assume that this is Maya. There's no ring. It's definitely not one of the young birds. They were both ringed. But whether they've both fledged now, I don't know. As I say, according to the website, the female was last seen on the July the 29th. And I haven't seen the young male today, so whether he's gone, I don't know. So I'm assuming it was Maya on the perch, and this is 33. But seems to be tending to the nest. But what a fantastic bird. We're so privileged to be able to travel 35 minutes from home to see these birds. So I'll leave you with that, and I'll see you next time.